Welcome to A Man's Perspective. Today I'm going to be having a conversation with Steve. He's part of a ministry that does a lot of great work. So Steve, thank you so much for being here. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, thank you for having me here. Well, my name is Steve Guardian with United in Him Motorcycle Ministries. Um, this Motorcycle Ministries has been together for 19 years.
Wow.
And out of that 19 years, I could honestly say that I've been with them for 18 and a half of those years.
Wow.
I um, I also kind of consider myself actually the first member of the ministry because when I first joined it, I was with the founders.
Wow.
That founded this ministry, and they were like we had the four founders, and
Yeah.
I was approached one day because I first met United Him by going out to Skid Row. And that's when I first saw United in Him out there and doing what they do. And after a while, I was approached by Pastor Tony and Brother Sammy Sanchez. They were two of the founders of United Him Motorcycle Ministries. They came up to me and they had asked me if I wanted to be part of United in Him Motorcycle Ministries. Sammy, uh, he was they're all good mentors.
Yeah, yeah.
They were all good mentors. They taught me everything I know. Pastor Tony's still my mentor.
Yeah.
Sammy, uh, when they asked me to join the ministry, Sammy told me, go home, pray on it, and see what the Lord leads me to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But my answer right away was, I don't need to. I told him, I already see what you are doing in this ministry and that I want to be part of that.
Yeah, yeah.
So from that day on, I was part of United in Him Motorcycle Ministries. Like I said, Sammy was a rough guy. He told me, because we used to have Bible studies every Friday night, and every third Friday of the month was set aside for us to go to Skid Row.
Yeah, yeah.
So Sammy told me, well, I'll call you once and once only.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
To be able to start meeting up and everything. So and I got a word from Sammy, because like I was saying, I was like the first member. I got the word. He started calling me Prospect.
Oh, that's okay.
And that is something I carried on in this ministry because, all the new guys we get, I like to mess with them, play around with them, and call them Prospect also, because, see, the way I looked at it is, because later on, as I was in the ministry, I started taking over things. And when they asked me to start this or to do this, my first thoughts were that United in Him, there was nothing broken. So there's nothing for me to fix.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to carry the tradition on of how it was presented and set to me, that I was going to just run it the same way. Because what I mean by running it the same way is because now I'm the vice president of the ministry.
Wow. That's
So
fantastic.
I got a few different titles there in the ministry, but we don't go by titles. But I'm also I'm one of the elders in the ministry.
Yeah.
I'm road captain in the ministry. So I got a lot of,
Wear a lot of hats.
well, we could say A lot of helmets.
Okay, you go. That's better.
We're motorcyclists.
You're a lot of
Yeah.
helmets. Good, good. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
And you said something very interesting. A lot of people don't understand how, like, and I work with a bunch of dudes. That's how we do is work with guys. And the way we show affection towards each other is by picking on each other.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
we'll pick on each other's vulnerabilities, and you know, but we never go to the point where we make them feel bad about themselves. But that's how we know. Like my brothers, I know the ones that make fun of me are the ones that I love. Those ones
Yeah,
that I trust.
yeah.
A lot of people don't understand that about guys. You know, we show affection by picking on each other.
Yeah. And like you say, that's the way we do it as guys and
Yeah.
everything. But me doing this for so long, I could tell the ones that I could play with a lot
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
who I can't.
Yeah, absolutely,
You know,
absolutely.
so I kind of stopped, 'cause instead of hurting some feelings,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so yeah. But yeah, that's mostly the way guys are.
Oh, well, thank you for being here, Steve. I can tell that you've been through. I heard my producer tell me a little bit about your story, man. The wisdom and knowledge that you have, brother. The things that you've been through. I'm so impressed by them. I can't wait to hear more about them. So what we do here on this podcast is we type in your information into ChatGPT or into an AI program, and it gives us questions, and then we print them out and then ask them. Good with that?
Yes.
Fantastic. I should. We have tablets and stuff, but I feel weird with the tablets. I put them on paper, even though
Yeah.
everybody makes fun of me. You know,
The
but
old school.
yeah, yeah. So, what area did you grow up in, Steve? What area did you grow up in?
I grew up in Pico Rivera.
Oh, okay.
And, I was, well, you could say born and raised there, because I was born in the next city over, which was Montebello.
Oh, okay.
And, from the day I came home from the hospital, I was in Pico Rivera, and I still live there today.
Wow. Wow, literally, the day you were born, still there. Wow, that is awesome.
I did leave for a period of time.
Yeah.
When we'll get into that when
Yeah.
the men's home part.
Okay.
But
All right, so let's see. The first question is, what was it like growing up in the area that you did, and how did that impact the choices you made as a teenager? Oh, wow, yeah. That's
well, well, like they say, you could consider me like the black sheep of the family, because we had a good, well, we still have a good family. We were all raised by my father and mother. We all did the schooling. My brothers and sisters, they all graduated except for me.
oh, wow.
And but we're pretty close knit family. We were always together. We did the holidays and everything together. It's just that we had a because the street that I live on, I live on a Grape Street, and the friends that I grew up with on Grape Street, we were a football team,
Oh, wow.
and we called ourselves Grape Street.
Oh, really?
Yes, and
The Grape Street football team?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
we were the Grape Street Animals.
Oh, okay.
And and we all just we lived right there, and we hung out on each other's porches.
Yeah.
And we grew up with just like with that mindset of succeeding in life.
Yeah.
And we just sports and school, because we were just teenagers going to school.
Yeah.
Like now it's work and church.
Yeah.
But we grew up being good. We went to school. We played the football on the weekends. We used to play. Actually, like the area that I lived in, I grew up in. We have you could kind of say, I don't know, fruit street names, you know.
Oh, really?
They were like, well, like my street was
Apple
Grape
Street, Grape.
Street. No, we had Orange Street.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
You know, we had a Pine, you know, Oak,
Oh,
you
okay,
know,
yeah, yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that, you know. So, you know, because like when we were growing up like that, like I said, we called ourselves Grape Street. And
Grape
then
Street
the other
Edibles.
other
Yeah.
guys from other streets started calling themselves by their street, you know. So
Oh, did it ever evolve into something more like?
no,
No.
no, it's just like you know, because like I said, you know, at that time of my life, we were a football team.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so they called themselves like I remember there was the Pine Street Boys and they
Yeah, yeah,
grew
yeah.
the you know, but they were like the guys that got together to play football against us.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, so we would meet at the local park right there, and we'll have you know, football games with all the whole streets, all
Yeah,
the
yeah.
every different street in the neighborhood right there that you know that just wanted to challenge us, you know.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Huh. So I know we talked about this a bit off camera, but how did you first get involved in gangs, and what drew you to that lifestyle?
Well, you know, like I said, I grew up there in the neighborhood, and you know, from you know like elementary school to junior high school into high school, you know, we all went to the same schools. You know, the guys that were from the neighborhood, the gang, we all went to the same school, so we all like knew each other because we grew up with each
Yeah,
other.
yeah, yeah.
And you know, even elementary, junior high school, I was always approached by the guys to get into the neighborhood.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, but I did not like, you know, because like I said, I was on Grape Street and we were in a different road at that time.
Yeah, yeah.
And I would just tell them no, but if anything happens, I'll be there to back you up. I'll,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
I'll take care of you guys too, you know,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'll be there. And but for me myself, how I got into the gang is by when I started going to high school. You know, because you know the area that I lived in, I lived in an area of Pico Rivera that our area was the only part of Pico Rivera that they sent to Montebello.
Oh, wow.
You know, so you know, a lot of people I meet, you know, I tell them I'm from Pico Rivera,
Yeah.
and right away they ask me, "Oh, did you go to Rancho High School?"
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I tell them no, because like I said, our area was the only part of the Pico that we went to Montebello High School. So they used to have a bus that came and picked us up and took us to high school
From the school or
from the school.
So you had to go to the high school to go to
Yeah.
another high school?
No, well, we went to Montebello High, but the bus picked us up in our area, in our
Oh, okay,
neighborhood,
okay, okay.
and bused us to school.
Yeah.
And well, that's how it all started with me, you know, because in the Montebello area, there was 3 different gangs.
Yeah.
And those 3 gangs, they got together and they were actually waiting for us at the for the bus at the bus stop.
Oh, damn.
So when we got off the bus, you know, well, back then too, I always wore, you know, the Dickie khaki
Yeah, yeah,
pants,
yeah.
white T-shirts and everything, you know, and so when we got off the bus, they right away, like, looked at us because of our dress,
Yeah.
and they started coming up to us, approaching us about all that, you know, where you from?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and you know, and we would explain to them, you know, well, we're not from nowhere, You know, they would be, you guys are liar. You know, you're liar. You're rankers. You know, you guys are from that area. And we used to say, well, you know what? We live there. You know, but we're not from there. You know, from well, we were from there, but not from the gang part of it. You know, so that's what we would tell them, and then they would, you know, see us down the hallways, walking to our different classes, and you know, we will get approached by them again, and
God, that must have
everything.
been tough, man. Because
Yes,
so a lot of your friends, did all your friends go to the same school with you, or were you guys separated? Someone to this school, someone to that school.
No, well, no, like all my friends that from Grape Street and everything, we all went there.
Okay.
You know, but they signaled us, a few of us, out because of our dress. Like I said, I used to wear the khaki pants and everything. You know, so they would signal us out about that, but that happened every day. Every day, every day we went to school. You know, we were going to school, and that happened all the time. You know, like I said, throughout the school day. You know, walking to different classes and everything. And then that was it. You know, we just finally got tired of
Fair
it.
enough, yeah.
You know, we finally got tired of it, and then we just started saying, well, yes, we are from the gang.
Yeah.
And now every morning we're fighting. Every morning, you know, we're fighting, and you know, every time we run into each other, now we're fighting. And then after that, the school got tired of us, and you know, the Montebello area, the Unified School District, they had their own continuation school, and see, they wanted to kick us out of school, but, you know, like send us to the continuation school. But we couldn't go to the continuation school because there was even more guys from those areas over there. So,
So it sounds like you guys did it more to protect yourselves.
yeah. And, but then later, you know, what happened was, you know, like I said, they couldn't send us to those other schools. So what they started doing is they started sending 2 teachers to our park, and we would set up tables in our gym at the park.
Really?
And we had school there.
Wow.
Yeah, and you know, that was our high school.
With the gym at the park.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
dang.
and they set up, you know, table. The teachers came with the work, and we were, you know, we did our schoolwork and everything at the gym. We had a name for it. I'll tell you after. And
wow, that's interesting. I've never heard that. I've never
yeah,
heard
so but but that's how it all got more escalated into the gang life, is because you know, we used to get out of school at 11:30.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, like I only lived like 2 blocks from the park, the school, and I will walk home, and I will get my car and go back to the park, pick up the guys,
Oh, yeah.
and then we would go back to the
other
main
school.
high school.
Wow.
And like I said, the three gangs got together, but for lunch they all hung out in their own spots.
Yeah.
So we used to go over there and hit a spot a day, jump out the car and start fighting with them, you know, and that just continued happening and going on, and then I just got you know, more and more into the gang. And
So then, by the school district separating you guys, made you guys do more gang type activities.
Yeah.
Something. Wow.
yeah.
Dang, that's a man.
Yeah, and
What-
I next thing I know, I was part of the gang. You know, did everything. You know, I always did my best for everything I do.
Yeah.
You
Give
know?
100%.
Yeah. So
That's the way life is. Life is never like, you know, you're here and all of a sudden, boom, you're in a gang, or here and then you're a drug addict. It's always really small.
Yeah.
It's always step by step, small thing by small thing, and then before you know it, one day you're just like, whoa, look where I'm at. Shoot, now
Yeah.
I'm doing this. Now I'm, doing this craziness.
Yeah, and from there it led on to being in and out of jails and everything.
Oh, that was the next
Uh,
question. Was there a specific event during one of those times, oh, in jail, that made you question your choices?
yeah, well, because I was before the event in jail. Actually, there was like kind of two. One was smaller than the other, um, but they're similar. But I was in and out all the time. The the police, they knew me.
Yeah, yeah,
They would see me and right away pull me or get
yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah.
And they would always you know there was a one cop that always tried to get me, and but he didn't have no reason to get me.
Yeah,
So but
yeah,
he would always try,
yeah.
and so I got a lot of under the influence charges,
Okay.
because they knew me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So there was times that uh, I would barely be coming out of my house just to start my day. Barely starting my day, and I'd be walking down the street, and here comes a sheriff,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
pull me over, and the next thing I know, I'm in the back seat of the car.
Wow.
And I'm like, hey man, what's going on?
Yeah, yeah,
I go, I'm barely coming out to start my day.
yeah.
And they would right away say, well, you're under the influence. And
Oh, so they make
and
that
I would
stuff
be
up.
like,
Yeah,
what are you talking about? I go, I
yeah,
barely walked out of my
yeah,
house. And they go, okay, well, if you're not under the influence, when we get to the station, test for us.
yeah.
And I go, I can't test for you. I go, man, I'm dirty from yesterday. So I can't, so then they write a mission of guilt.
Yeah,
So right away that was a charge
yeah,
because I didn't want to test for them.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I would get sent away.
Man, that's a vicious cycle, man. Like
Yeah,
with the police and
yeah,
um, so it on one side, and it's good that there's so much reform going on with law enforcement right now. Um, I'm sure because I'm in law enforcement, we've grown because of mistakes like that.
yeah,
I hope that we're different. I hope that things are different now. That our interactions are different. That we're more mature
yeah,
and not just seeking people out like that.
yeah. But those incidents that made me start thinking, is well, one of them was the politics
Yeah.
that started up in the jail.
Oh yeah,
You
jail's
know,
heavily political.
yeah,
Having worked in there,
and
people
I
understand.
wasn't all about that,
Yeah,
because they wouldn't even wait anymore for the guard to walk away. They opened the door for us to put us in a dorm, and they wouldn't even wait for them to walk away. And as you're walking in, they're already like, hey,
yeah.
you a
Sizing you up.
you
Yeah,
a South Sider,
yeah,
you a well, obviously they knew we weren't Woods,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
but they okay, you a South Sider, you're a Paisa or whatever,
yeah,
and then they started telling you where to go,
yeah,
South Siders over there, Woods over here,
yeah,
and so I didn't really care for all that, because I just like a lot of times I would even get asked during a classification,
yeah,
I would even get asked by the police, where do I want to go?
yeah, yeah,
And I knew where all my friends were. So I
yeah,
said, send me over there, send me
yeah,
there, so, but what really did it for me is one of my like last arrest. Okay. I was one my last arrest. I was in a work furlough home. So I was in this work furlough home, and since I was already in the system, I what they call in jail a kite. I sent a kite out, explaining to that I still had another case. And, while I'm in there, I want to take care of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I sent the message letting them know about it. So then I was in a work furlough home, and they ended up coming to pick me up on a Friday morning, took me back to LA County. And, I was there for the weekend because court was Monday.
Monday, yeah.
But what happened was I walked into a lockdown situation.
Yeah.
The whole county jail was on lockdown. Um, the word was, there was like a racial incident that was
Yeah.
in there. Um, and, so the county was on lockdown. And then Monday morning comes and they start calling our names for court.
Yeah, yeah.
And as they're calling our names for court, they're sticking us in a shower room. While they're getting everybody out. And then what happened was there was a incident where two guys came, and one stood at the door and one stood at the window where, like in the shower room where they pass the towels through.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, one stood at the window there and one stood at the door, and they said, it's going to jump off right now.
Is there inmates or deputies?
The inmates.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they told everybody in there it's
Yeah.
going to jump off right now because there was a riot. Remember, there was a racial riot in there. They said it's going to jump off right now. The guy at the window, he's going to be watching who don't come out of here. If you don't come out of here, then we're going to deal with you.
Oh, wow.
And they told us everything that was going to happen. They said the first guy that comes by, everybody's going to jump on him. I was, that's when it hit me that, I don't need to be here for this, because
Yeah, you can die, man.
yeah,
It's like-
because see, what I didn't really like is like like they said, the first guy that passes by that, not our race,
Yeah.
it's on. But the first guy that passed by, to me, he was like a late 60s, early 70-year-old man.
Oh, smoke.
And I was like, oh, no, wait for another one,
Yeah,
at
yeah,
least
yeah.
a younger guy.
Yeah.
But they went out and got him, and,
Did that guy survive?
huh?
Did that guy survive?
Yeah, because
Okay.
luckily I was glad about it, because luckily they told us which guy was carrying
Yeah.
and that he was going to be doing the stabbing, and
Yeah.
so they.
Man, this is like a movie. It's like a movie straight out of a movie.
So what happened was he did it once, the second time it broke.
Oh,
So
okay,
that's
yeah.
why I was like, whew.
Yeah, good for him,
So,
yeah.
so and then after that, I saw that you can't just go to jail anymore and just do your time.
Yeah, no.
Because of the politics, the color of your skin, your you got to get involved.
Yeah. Jail's no joke, man. People, before I went to work in the jails, I had this weird idea about, peace and fun and rehabilitation and reading Bibles and stuff. No, jail's no joke, man.
What
It's
do they
a-
call that? I forgot where like they use it a lot.
Yeah.
Disneyland.
Yeah. Everyone,
Disney, a resort.
Yeah. I had a completely false idea of what jail was like. I never realized how much hierarchy there is in jail. It was so political. I couldn't believe, and everyone knew who was in charge and when,
Yeah.
who owed what, and by, it was crazy.
Yeah.
So seeing that attack kind of changed your mind about things.
Yeah, because like I said, you can't just go to jail and do your time.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times, I went, I just wanted to do my time and get out.
Yeah.
all that is just going to get you more deeper in, and
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
if you're going to be involved in it, you're going to get deeper and deeper,
Yeah.
and who knows, maybe you won't even come out.
Wow. Well, the good thing is that seeing someone attack like that, an elderly man attack like that, like, that's good that it changed you. You know that you were touched. That's, that changed your life.
Yeah, but that's how I also decided to change my life,
Yeah.
by things happening.
That is so wonderful because a lot of people go through life letting themselves be drawn over here and drawn over here instead of deciding, I'm going to do this, I'm going to be like this, I'm going to make a decision and to act this way, to behave this way. That's key.
Yeah.
That's
Well, like, probably the one of the upcoming questions will explain a lot of that
yeah.
change in my life.
All right, let's go to what led you to enter a men's home, and how did that experience change you? What's a men's home?
Okay, well, I went to a men's home. It's a Christian home for men, and the one I went to was called Lifeline Outreach.
Uh,
What made me, uh, like, start thinking of something like that is because, you know, at a I was a father at 16 years old.
wow.
Me and my wife, well, at the time, just my girlfriend,
Yeah.
um, we had a son. Um, I was 16 years old when he was born and everything. I used to, always have the guys from the neighborhood over at my house all the time
Yeah.
and everything. And what happened was, one day we were at my house and we were drinking, and I was taking a big drink of my beer. And when I was taking that drink, I felt something on the side of me looking at me, and I felt something just looking. And I turned to the side to look, and it was my son looking up at me while I was taking that big drink.
Oh wow.
And I call it, my mind snapped back to reality,
Yeah.
and I said to myself, I don't want him thinking this is life, growing up and thinking this is life, what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So that's when I was going to court. I had a open court case, and I went to my lawyer and I told him, I go, you know what? Tell the judge, why don't they help me? Because all you do is put me away, and later on I'm right back here again in front of you.
Yeah.
And you know the and and this courthouse, it's closed now, I believe, Whittier Courthouse. And I was always there, because that's the area, from where I was growing up. They would send us to Whittier Court, and I probably had been in front of every judge there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but there was this one judge that, um, her one of her children, had got killed by a drunk driver.
Oh.
So if you went in front of her with any kind of drunk driving under the influence
Oh,
charges
she
or
was
stuff
tough
like
on
that,
you. Yeah.
she was known as a hanging judge.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she was a tough judge. So because of, at that time, I already had, 13 priors of under the influence.
Oh wow.
So I was in front of her, with 13 priors, and she wanted to put me away. She wanted to give me 2 years in Chino prison.
Oh.
That was my destiny. And so that's what she wanted. like I said, I asked my lawyer to present that to her. He did, and she right away said no.
Oh, wow.
She said no. I want you in jail.
Yeah.
You know, so I was about to, because my next court date was to come back for sentencing. You know, and I was already, accepting it, and I was getting ready to walk out the court, and it was my lawyer that grabbed me by the arm and he stopped me, and he told me, "Go look for a home." He goes, look for a living home. You need to be somewhere.
Yeah.
So he told me to go look for a home, and he said, the home will come to court with a court representative, with a letter from the program and everything, and they'll help you to get
Yeah.
into the home. So I believe with all my heart, I believe that God already had all this orchestrated.
Yeah.
Because the day of sentencing that I went back to court, that lady judge was not there.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
And there was another judge. There was a man judge up there and everything. And, he just took a look at my file. He read the letter that the program brought. He listened to the court representative, and he decided to give me 9 months in the program.
Wow.
He sentenced me to 9 months in the program with monthly progress reports.
Yeah.
And then, my 9th month came. The judge wanted to extend it. And I told him, no. I go, I did my time.
Yeah.
I go, I did what the courts asked me to do.
Yeah.
And so I went ahead and I told him also that I plan on staying in the program on my own. So altogether, I ended up staying in the program for 3 years.
Wow.
And actually, because, I wasn't brought up Christian.
Yeah.
When I was in this program, I was like, it just was a whole different thing. And I even said to myself, I should have went to jail, because I go, I know jail. I know how to do jail. And
that would have been easier.
yeah,
Yeah.
for me at the time, But I ended up sticking it out. And like I said, I stood there 3 years. I was in when I first got there, I was in a blackout period.
Yeah.
My first phone call, I was able to make a phone call. I called my girlfriend. I called her up, and I told her, because we grew up with each other.
Yeah.
We were, we were teenagers when we met and everything, and so I told her, I go, well, why don't you come to church and give yourself to the Lord for about a year, and
Wow.
and
That's tremendous.
and we'll make plans on getting married.
Wow.
So
God, but it all started with your decision when you looked down at your child.
yeah,
It all started with that.
yeah.
Like, where did you? Most people don't have that wisdom to change so dramatically over that. Where'd you get that from? Where did that come from?
You could probably say from my wife.
Oh, okay.
Because
So the people around you.
yeah, because see, like I said, we were always together.
Yeah.
And I believe, because like I said, God had this orchestrated. He already knew what his plans were for me. And, me having a son at an early age, I believe really saved me from a lot.
Wow.
Because, all my friends from the neighborhood, they already knew to look for me at her house and not even at my house, my parents' house. So when they would come to look for me, You know, it was it had a big front yard, you know, and a small little house like way in the back,
Back,
in the
yeah.
middle.
Yeah.
And so when they would come, they would be yelling out my name, calling me,
Yeah.
and right away my wife would say, "You ain't going nowhere."
Wow, strong woman.
You know, she
Yeah,
would tell
strong
me, "You
woman.
ain't going nowhere." And then I go outside with the guys, and I tell them, "Nah, I'm gonna stay here." And
Yeah.
they would tease me, "Ah, you're married," you
Yeah.
know. But I believe that helped me a lot by her
Yeah.
saying that, because a lot of my friends that I grew up with, the friends that I ran with, a lot of them are dead,
Yeah.
and a lot of them, my one of my closest friends, uh, you could, he my closest friend that I could have been with easily with any one of them,
Yeah.
that either got killed, or my closest friend that I had at the time, and he did 34 years in prison.
Wow.
And like I said, I could have easily been there,
Yeah, you'd have been right there with them.
you know. So by
Yeah, so
her,
God bless your wife, man.
so
She's
by her always telling me, "You ain't going nowhere,"
yeah.
you know, say, well, help me to stay home
Yeah.
and stay back from what I could have got myself into,
Yeah.
you know. So that's what's you know. And then, you know, like I said, with my son, you know, I just thought, you know, this ain't, I don't want him growing
Yeah.
up, this is life, you know.
Wow. That's tremendous, man. That just goes to show how having the right people around you can either bring you success or bring you down, bring upon your demise. And but it was still your choice, because you could just said, I'm gonna go anyway.
Yeah.
So that was, man, what a great story. And the whole jail stuff, man, that's like a movie, dude. It's like, damn. That's like a movie. Right. Can you share a moment when you felt a calling or decided to give your life to God?
Well, you know, at the point that you know, I didn't really realize a lot of things until later in my walk with the Lord, you know, because you know, I didn't really know him in the beginning, you know. But you know, because when I went to that program, I still had my old man mentality,
Yeah, yeah,
you know, because we used to go to uh, you know, the park. They used to take us to the park, and we used to go play handball a lot.
yeah,
And you know, my mentality was, we got to the park, and I go sit on top of the bench,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
And they ended up coming to me and telling me, you know, I got to get involved and stuff, you know. Um,
And was that men's home?
Yes, I was in the
Yeah,
men's home. The counselors in the men's homes would come and talk to me and tell me that I got to get involved, uh, and you know, and one of the counselors, you know, like I said, because I didn't know, you know, he used me in his message one day,
yeah,
you know, that we had,
yeah, yeah,
you know, about me coming in. And then, you know, he used me by saying, you know, that one day, you know, I was here, and then the next thing he noticed was my hands going up,
oh wow.
and me.
Yeah,
I guess that's the day I surrendered,
yeah, yeah,
you know. But actually myself not knowing it, you
yeah,
know, because I haven't really uh, built the relationship that I have with the Lord now. You
yeah,
know, I haven't built it, so I didn't know a lot of things, you know. So, but now that I know it, that's why I keep saying God had all this orchestrated. He
yeah,
already knew exactly what He wanted from me,
yeah,
you know. So it was just me having to catch up to Him,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you know. And
yeah,
you know, so you know, that's, you know, I started learning a lot in the men's home, you know, because it was 24-hour church
yeah,
for
yeah,
Bible studies every day, you know. Bible studies. We even had like a little school, you know, where we learned the Bible and
yeah,
everything. And you know, it was just you know, something, you know, I just got I just got into it, and I learned a lot being in the program. I called it a spiritual boot camp,
Yeah.
because we were being training to be soldiers,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
trained to be servants, and I learned a lot where of a man of God, uh, to do things, to help things,
Yeah.
to run things, I learned, because when I was in the men's home, there was 60 men,
Wow, that's a lot of
and
dudes.
everywhere we went, they used us a lot,
Yeah.
because there was a lot of men. Like,
Yeah.
we went to conventions, and they used us as ushers, and
Yeah, yeah.
so I learned how to be an usher. I learned how to, I did in that program. I did a lot that I learned in those 3 years that I was there. That, like, the counselors, they were. Uh, some of the men from the from the program that got picked to be a counselor,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
from within
Yeah.
the men's home.
So promotion from within.
Uh-huh. And I trained a lot of them, and I was never a counselor.
Yeah. Oh, shoot.
I never got picked to be a counselor because I was doing a lot of other stuff in the program.
Well, that's probably why. You
And-
already had such a big role.
And I was doing a lot of stuff because, like one of my jobs in the program was, I used to clean the office.
Uh-huh.
So I learned a lot of the office stuff.
Yeah.
And when they came in as being a counselor, they didn't even know how to answer the phone, and I had to
Yeah.
teach them how to answer the phone,
yeah.
what to say, and I used to, show them a lot of stuff like that. And actually, what I also became in that program, I became the court representative.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's really cool.
The one that they sent
Yeah,
for
yeah,
me.
yeah.
I became the program's court representative.
Did you ever go back and see that judge again?
I went back to
Oh,
Whittier
that
courts
is awesome.
a lot.
That
And
is
that's one of the reasons they sent me, because they said, the Whittier court.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
yeah.
know, so I went back as a court representative later on in my years there.
Wow, your story's tremendous, brother.
I went to, not only, the Whittier court, because I used to be in the East LA court.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I went back to, the East LA court
Yeah.
and everything too as a representative. And, I did, one of our things that I do in the program is I got myself a snow cone machine, because
yeah.
I used to do snow cones in the program.
Yeah.
I was the snow cone man in there, and so I did all that in there, and so I used to. The church was very strict ruled, where like the guys from the program, if they started dating and they wanted to go out, they had to take a chaperone.
Oh, wow.
And my name came up a lot as being the
chaperone?
chaperone.
Oh, that's pretty
and
cool.
A lot of the wives now,
Yeah.
they would see me. Like, the last time that I went to a 30-year reunion.
Yeah, yeah.
And the wives now, my friends that
Yeah.
was in the programs with me, they would see me and they would be like, "Oh, Steve," 'cause
Yeah.
they remember me for being their chaperones from when they were dating. And a lot of my brothers from the men's home, they all became pastors. But
Yeah.
I was directed in another way.
Yeah.
Because when they had our Bible studies, my name will come up to be on the calendar.
Yeah.
And I would be over there studying, trying to put a Bible study together and everything. And then sometimes the day of the Bible studies or something, I would get called to go do something else.
Yeah.
So that's what showed me, though, for the ministry today, that I'm doing, that directed me in that position of being in leadership, of our motorcycle ministry.
So you've been prepared along the way. Your whole life has been preparation for something.
That's why I say the Lord already had it all orchestrated, and he knew what he was going to do with me. And, I just, like I said, I just had to catch up,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, that's your
he,
life is tremendous too, because everybody, a lot of people, not everybody, a lot of people get stuck in their environment, get stuck in their neighborhood, get stuck where they grew up. You're proof that as long as you listen and pay attention to things outside of you, mainly God talking to you, pushing you in certain directions, like from your wife, from the attorney, um, because you listened and paid attention, you didn't go down that path of death. You didn't go down that path of destruction.
yeah,
And now look at you. Now you're vice president of a motorcycle ministry. Wow, dude, that's tremendous, brother.
yeah. And, like, we'll keep going or something
Yeah.
because,
You,
because I'm probably jumping ahead with the
yeah.
next, what I was going to say.
Okay, so since dedicating your life to serving the Lord, what have been some of the biggest changes in your life?
Well, to me, I don't think, like, there's not really a lot of change. There's change of me being a Christian now,
Yeah, yeah,
like that. But I'm still the same guy
yeah.
that I always was. I'm a guy that, I like to play around, joke around with everybody.
Yeah.
I always said that just because you're a Christian doesn't mean you can't have fun.
Yeah.
So I'm the guy that likes to do the playing around, the joking, I'm the guy that I like to put things together. I like to put events together because I used to consider myself a good partier in the world, and now I could do it, for the Lord,
Yeah.
and I could do it without waking up with a hangover in the morning.
Clean way, yeah. The
So
clean way.
I like to be out there doing things.
Yeah.
I'll go places by myself. You know. I've been going places by myself where I met a lot of family members that I never knew I even had.
Oh, wow.
I got cousins and everything now that they're serving the Lord that I never even knew.
Yeah.
And like some of them, they're running their own churches and stuff, and I'm there to help them, because that's what our ministry is about, is supporting other churches and helping other churches. And I like, as you said earlier, 100% is how I do my things.
Yeah.
And
Man, Steve, your life has been tremendous, brother. Jeez, you gotta write a book. 'Cause we're just, I know we've only had short little discussions, but man, your life is amazing, dude. And I love how it shows how our path is not destined. Like we can change our trajectory. We can change
Yeah.
what we're gonna become.
yeah. Anybody, and I know, I don't know if the question's still in there, but one of the other questions is how can you teach somebody, because see, like one of the things that we used to do in our ministry until COVID is we used to go to Kirby Juvenile Hall. And, I felt that, talking to those kids in the juvenile hall, like how they say, I've been there, I've done that.
Yeah.
And
that's huge to those kids.
yeah, and being able to go into the juvenile halls and talking with those kids, I learned that, there's times that, you could talk to them, and then there's times that you can't be soft with them either, because, like, I used to tell them, what, hey, don't worry about your homeboy, I go, don't worry about him, it's me, you, and God talking right now, because, with their homie, they're going to be trying to act hard, so I would tell them, don't worry about your homeboy, I go, and then I would tell them, pray for the judge, I go, pray for the judge that he'll have a softened heart for you in your sentencings or whatever, And then there's another thing that I used to, like I said, kind of be a little hard on them, is because, like, from my experience of me being a father at 16 years old, I asked them, do you have any kids? And, and some of the guys would tell me no, and some of the guys would tell me yes. And the ones that used to tell me yes, I used to tell them straight out and tell them, hey, well, wouldn't you like to, take your kid to Disneyland? Wouldn't you like to raise your kid, or would you rather have Sancho?
Oh, dude.
You know?
As a man, that's heavy.
Yeah,
As a man, yeah, that's heavy. We don't know how to take.
But that's what I would tell them.
Yeah.
I go, would you rather have Sancho raising your kid,
Yeah.
or would you rather have, you yourself to raise your own kid?
Yeah.
So I would give it. You got to get out of this to be able to do that. You
So
know.
what advice would you give to young men right now that are struggling with their environment, with gangs or with drugs or whatever? What advice would you give to them?
Well, the only thing that I could say is that because it's part of me, what I learned also in the program. It's, first of all, it's you wanting to change your life.
Okay.
Your mother, your grandmother, your girlfriend, boy, they can't do it for you.
Yeah.
It has to come from you wanting to change. And so you got to have that in you to want to make that change, and don't let anybody influence you, to change your mind of how you think. Because I know sometimes that, when, like, people, a lot of times when you're by yourself, you think of a lot of things that you would want for yourselves, and then somebody could come by and change that thought that you had,
Yeah.
especially being like in a jail environment situation, or something like that, or like I said, or peer pressures.
Dude, peer pressure is real.
Yeah.
A lot of people try to act like, oh, I can get through it. And I tell
Yeah.
people, no. Everyone succumbs to peer pressure.
Yeah.
Peer pressure is real. The only way to get through peer pressure is to not be around it.
Yeah.
So when someone starts to try to peer pressure you to do stuff, I tell people, literally pick up your hands and just run.
Yeah.
Literally run from whoever's doing anything. For you.
And then, even though, like, whatever it may be, the peer pressure, drugs, alcohol, or whatever, what I used to like to say a lot is, the best Christians that you could get out there are the ones that hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
Because how I say it is that once you hit rock bottom, there's nowhere else to go but up.
Yeah.
So that's when you need to call upon the Lord. And even though you haven't hit rock bottom, call upon the Lord, and he's the one that will change all that. He'll take it away. It's there's another little thing that I like to say is, it's like a country music song. When you listen to country music, you lost your wife.
Oh yeah.
You lost your dog. You took your,
lost your truck.
But okay. But I say it's like Jesus plays that country music backwards, and he give you back your wife. He'll give you back your dog. He'll give you back your truck. That's the way I like to put it. And one time I had told a guy in the juvenile hall that, and he was telling me, well, my girlfriend, she doesn't want nothing to do with me, and we've been separated and everything. And I told him, okay, well, but still, do you want her back?
Yeah.
Because if you want her back in your life, God can do all that. And it's just that everything is that you got to want.
Yeah.
Want, and that's the main thing. Want to change your life.
So it starts with you then. It starts with the individual.
With yourself, because that's, like I said, in the program, by answering, the telephones, mothers used to call and say, oh, I want to put my son in the home, and they would say, okay, but have him call us.
Yeah.
Because, like I said,
Make sure that he wants
it has to come from you.
Yeah. Wow, Steve. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, your life story, brother. Jeez, I know it's gonna help somebody, dude. You gotta get out here more and tell your life story, brother. I would try to find as many podcasts, as many places to talk, brother. Wow. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
Um,
Actually, this is the second day in a row because yesterday we went to an event and I was asked to share
yeah.
my testimony over there.
Wow. Good, brother. Good for you, man.
Yeah.
You're gonna keep making changes, especially the ministry that you guys are in. I've been around it a little bit, and man, all you guys are impressive individuals. You're all real men. I love that about you guys. And you're all scary, dude. I see them like, damn, they're all monsters. They're all scary men. But thank you for being that. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing your testimony, your story, your lessons. Thank you so much, brother.
Amen.
Man.
No problem.
Well, thank you all for watching. I hope that I've learned a lot. I hope that you guys pick something up. And as usual, if you guys have any questions, put them in the comments, and either I or my guests will do our best to answer them. Like and subscribe. We love you. See you on the next one, fam.